right, we're back doing the previews. We're keeping it going. NFC East. We only got two divisions to go, but NFC East, we are back. We are continuing with the Washington Commanders. All right, so Commanders had a lot of changes. Ron Rivera was fired. Um, General manager was fired. Uh, as well, whole new group. Adam Peters gets the general manager job. Dan Quinn gets the head coaching job. He brings in Cliff Kingsbury to run his offense and Joe Witt Jr. to run his defense, even though we know it's Dan Quinn's defense. Um, this is Dan Quinn's second go around as a as a coach, so we'll see what he learned that time away. In the draft, Washington added Jayden Daniels, the quarterback of the future, was named the starter. Obviously, I don't think anybody had any doubts about that. Mariota was backing him up. He wasn't going anywhere. Uh, yeah, sorry. That makes people feel a little weird, but yep. Anyway, all right. So this team, the Washington Commanders, they fired people. They went 4-13 last year. It's a new era. It's a new regime and everything. Jayden Daniels, the starter. Marcus Mariota, the backup. That's how it's gonna look. Uh, at quarterback, they signed Austin Eckler, uh, and they still have Brian Robinson Jr. Sorry, uh, and Jeremy McNichols is going to be there as well. Chris Rodriguez didn't make the team, but he's on the practice squad. I was hoping for him to take a step, but it's not going to happen, at least right now. You could always get elevated. You get 3 elevations before they have to put you on the roster. So it'll be interesting to see what Cliff Kingsbury does with his 1-2. Austin Eckler being the smaller, flashier pass catching guy, and Brian Robinson being the pounder here. So a good 1-2 there that could happen. At receiver, uh, they did trade Johan Dotson, their number 2, to the Eagles. They still have Terry McLaurin. They signed Olamide Zaccheaus in the offseason. They have Jameson Crowder. They signed Noah Brown, who just got released by the Texans. Had De'Ami Brown. They did draft Luke McCaffrey. So there's some bodies here. We'll see if they can put it together past Terry McLaurin. Obviously, you would hope somebody who's offensively really good like Cliff will figure it out. So we'll see. Tight end John Bates and Zach Ertz are the main two tight ends that they'll probably feature the most. We'll see how much Zach has got left. Uh, on the line, I think this is where it's a little scary for Washington fans or any fans of just good quarterbacking, young quarterbacking, developing and everything. Jayden Daniels has got to play in front of this line that's not really that great. Um, honestly, not holding anything back there. This line's not really great. Um, Andrew Wiley, who I like individually, but combined with this line, I don't think he's that great. Cornelius Lucas, and Cosme, Taylor Biadasz. So they did sign. I mean, they got some guys who individually have been okay in this league, but they got to put it together, and nothing has been shown um, about it. So big question mark there on the line. Defensive linemen, obviously, we know they got the two guys in the middle, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, the Alabama boys. On the DN, we'll see if they can generate any pass rush. They have Cleveland Farrell. Turning Jamin Davis into a defensive end. Okay. Dorrance Armstrong. So yeah, there we go. They're looking for a pass rusher 10, Jamin Davis, who was a linebacker, into a defensive end. We'll see how that looks. Cleveland Farrell, Dorrance Armstrong, and then the two guys in the middle at linebacker. So this is going to be a hybrid. Doesn't look like a it's a 4-3, but it's going to look um like a 4-2 basically because they have Dante Fowler outside linebacker, so he'll be pass rush guy. Bobby Wagner in the middle, Frankie Lavu, who they signed, Cal Walker, linebacker. In the backfield, Manuel Ford is going for his second season. Um, a lot of safeties on this roster. Jeremy Reeves, quarterback Benjamin St. Juste. So they have a Jason Jeremy Chin. They still have Derek Forrest. So they have some bodies there in the secondary. Um, that can work if they're put together. Obviously, here's the good and here's the bad. Defensively, at least defensive line wise and linebacker, they are good. There's some question marks for me on the defensive backfield, but they'll be, I think, gonna be honest, just like the Giants, the defensive unit might be a little better than the offense here for the Commanders as well. Um, I think they still might find it hard to generate some pass rush on the outside. Obviously, we know the two guys in the middle can get some pressure in the middle, which sometimes is better than the outside pressure. But um, whereas, I mean, they're turning Jamin Davis into a DN. Leland Farrell, who they just signed, just got there. Dorrance Armstrong, who they just signed and got there. Dante Fowler. I mean, these are guys that have been in the league for a while, but haven't really like I don't know splashed. I guess you can say. So it's kind of to me, it's kind of a question mark here, if you ask me. Um, can they generate pass rush? If they can generate a pass rush, this is going to look better for this secondary that's kind of, in a way like unproven, honestly. So we'll see. A lot of young players. There's some veterans sprinkled in there, but they're just basically role players. Jeremy Reeves is somebody who's played under Dan Quinn in Dallas, so he had to get. Well, no, Jeremy Reeves hasn't been there. Sorry, thinking of the wrong person. It's Curse who I'm thinking about. Anyway, I mean they do have some guys that have been there for a while in 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 Washington, so they know each other. That's not going to be a problem. Uh, but they do have some new people. But if they can find some pass rush, it'll help them out. The defense will look a little better than the offense because the offense, for me, that line is going to be the biggest thing to protect this quarterback to help him develop. Obviously, he has a number one in Terry McLaurin. That's no doubt about it. He does have the running backs to lean on, Brian Robinson to pound it in and pound the ball down the middle, and then Austin Eckler to do the flashy stuff. And he just has to get protected because um, I want to see this guy develop. This is going to be a guy that you're gonna want to tune in and watch. Um, he's gonna be pretty decent. If everything around him goes right and they know how to manage him. All right, schedule. Tampa probably lose. The Giants. This one's up in the air. I don't know. Bengals lose. Cardinal is gonna be up in the air. I don't know. Browns lost. Ravens lost. Panthers up in the air. Chicago. I think they lose this one. Giants up in the air again. Pittsburgh. I think they lose that one. Eagles. I think they lose that one. Cowboys, I think they lose that one. Titans up in the air. Uh, New Orleans up in the air. Eagles they lose. Atlanta probably lose. Cowboys lose. One, two, three. All right, so I see maybe 7-10 off of what I just ran through the schedule real quick. 7-10, or 8-9. Honestly, like I said, there's gonna be some games they gotta flip, the ones that are like up in the air. They gotta get those wins and then go from there. Um, and that's how they'll figure that out. But yeah, I think they'll be slightly better. There might be some growing pains because of this line. So like I said, 7-10 is better than last year, but that's what I see for the most part there with them. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of it. But slightly better improvement from the Washington Commanders off of this new regime and everything that's there. But 7-10, maybe ain't none, but 7-10 for sure. All right. All right. Until next time, we keep going with the NFCs. Next will be the Cowboys. Peace out.